The hierarchy of ableism is embedded in our language. This happens when the language used for an identity was created through the lens of another social class, or when common language references ableist structures themselves. With queer people, for example, someone can consider themselves gay and part of our community if they don't want sex, but might not be considered homosexual by those who first defined it. Autism is not a fluid floating in the void. It is a reference to an identity, a community of people. We have our own complicated and conflicting views on our identity, community, and connections built through it, but they are just that, ours. Whether what an outside class says is positive, negative, or something a subset of us agree with, deciding what these are is talking over some or all of us. This is often done by using us as a comparison point, like calling homework autistic because you don't like it. Calling things lame is another common example. You should only use these terms as literal references to the community, not what things are like. So you can still call my writing autistic, for example. The most commonly referenced ableist structure is the generalization of abilities. Abilities are not some fluid you can throw from one bucket to another as you please. You can be good at math and shit at writing without being lazy. Dumb originally meant could not or would not talk. Now it references this fluid we call IQ. Are you dumbfounded by that? Dumb is a threat, not an explanation. Using it to refer to an idea is saying that it would be created or used by your ideal of a stupid person, and that you would treat someone as part of that class for using it. Tell us about the situation instead of this vague gesturing. Say that their argument is circular, that they missed an edge case, or just make a direct threat. Everyone has different ideas of what these social groups look like, and so how exactly the idea is like them, making people's conclusions vastly different and unpredictable. If you care about the consequences of your actions, make your language precise. References to hierarchy make it stronger, as the more often we use a lens to understand someone's words, the more primed we are to think along those lines. This leads to even oppressed people themselves internalizing oppression. It can be as simple as thinking the word symptom instead of trait. Before I met anarchists, I only thought negatively of being autistic because I didn't have the language to describe it as a positive. People would get angry at or sad for me when I called myself autistic. They would tell me not to be so hard on myself. Ableism being so embedded makes it easy and quick to reference. There's an overwhelming pressure to do things as quickly as possible, so this is a big incentive. On top of that, most existing methods of social interaction rely on the idea that you should hate disabled people. So to most, this is not only okay, but expected. People deserving more for winning competitions or doing more labor, for example. People aren't that likely to think about or question the words you don't say, though, making avoiding these words mainly a safe internal exercise. I do this by going back over what I said and bringing my internal attention to these words every time they are used. This makes it stop being normal and unquestioned. I then replace any sentence containing these with an explanation of my reasoning for what is wrong about the idea I am referring to. Just swapping out a word doesn't change anything. We all know nuts means crazy. I suggest setting up tools to automatically remove many of these words, including moderation tools in public spaces you are in. To learn more, I suggest looking into lists of words considered ableist and their history. I will provide a link to one in the comments.